Court rules the government's decision to reduce services is unlawful.
I've had fantastic service from that hospital for many years, and I thought the whole thing was absolutely outrageous from the beginning 9 months ago.
We asked the government what will happen now. Also tonight, a seat in the House of Lords for the mother of murdered teenager Stephen Lawrence. She's to be made a Labour peer. On the increase, we reveal the number of council workers in the capital on 0 hours contracts. Plus, London through the eyes of the homeless, a new scheme to help rough sleepers help themselves. Good evening and welcome to the programme. A High Court judge has quashed the government's decision to reduce services at Lewisham Hospital. The Health Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, had said that downgrading the A&E and maternity services would improve patient care and help tackle huge debts at a neighbouring NHS trust. But campaigners claimed his decision was unlawful and the High Court agreed. Our political correspondent Carl Mercer is in Lewisham for us. Carl.
6 months ago to the day, many of these people gathered here for a very different reason than they are tonight. They were here to vent their anger because that was the day that Jeremy Hunt ruled that some of the services here at Lewisham Hospital should be downgraded. Tonight, they're here to celebrate because, as you say, a High Court judge has ruled that Jeremy Hunt's changes were not lawful and should be scrapped. The moment they waited for 6 months. It wasn't hard to see what Lewisham Hospital campaigners made of the judgment today, that plans to downgrade its services were illegal and should be stopped.
I'm really emotional. I've got 3 children. They were all born at Lewisham. I've had fantastic service from that hospital for many years, and I thought the whole thing was absolutely outrageous from the beginning 9 months ago. And I just feel that this huge sense of relief that the judge has agreed.
Under plans announced in January, Lewisham's A&E and maternity services were set to be downgraded, part of a plan drawn up by a special administrator sent in to sort out problems in a neighbouring hospital trust. The court ruled that the administrator and the Secretary of State for Health had been wrong to include Lewisham in that rescue package. It also said the plans didn't have the support of local GPs.
Well, this is a grassroots campaign. We saw the legal case today, but the campaign came 7 months ago from the grassroots, from the patients, from the GPs. We've seen 25,000 people on the streets. We've seen a very strong clinical case. And we know that people in Lewisham deserve better than this.
The campaign against the changes has been high profile, one march seeing more than 20,000 people on the streets. This afternoon, campaigners held a victory rally outside the hospital.
Incredibly emotional. I had 2 kids there. It's an amazing hospital, brilliant resources, and it's just the fact that there was going to be such an injustice, and now hopefully there isn't. Just really, really emotional.
What was the mood like in the hospital when the decision came
Oh,
through?
of course, we're exuberant. We're very happy today for the judgment. We thought it represents common sense. It reflects the hard work that people at Lewisham do, and we're happy for the result.
But the case isn't over yet. The government was given the right to appeal and says it will.
Well, clearly the ruling of the court is a disappointment, but I say that not just because the government lost, but because we genuinely thought that the arrangements that we were proposing were in the best interests of the people of South East London.
While Lewisham campaigners continued their celebrations, though, some health experts say today's ruling could frustrate change in the NHS they say is essential.
Of course, these services, in a sense, belong to the public, but equally we can't be in a position where the public have a right of veto that force us to stick with a set of services that are unaffordable and, crucially, are unsafe potentially. So we have to find a way in which the NHS can change.
Any change, as we found out today, can prove controversial and lengthy.
Carl, will the ruling over Lewisham have an impact on other NHS reorganisation plans in London?
Yeah, look, this was the first time that the government had ever sent in an administrator to try and sort out the financial problems in a hospital trust. So I think today's judgment will inevitably raise questions about how that regime is applied in the future. But I think if we look wider across London, we know there are these same sort of reconfigurations in NHS speak happening around the rest of the capital. We know, for example, in northwest London there are plans to shut 4 A&E units. We know in southwest London there are plans for 2 A&Es and 2 maternity units to shut. So I think hospital service managers and indeed hospital campaigners will be looking very closely at the judgment today, and also looking at this sort of reaction and seeing how public opinion can possibly sway the arguments. I don't think this one, though, will be the last one that we see decided in the courts.
Carl, thank you. Lots more to come, including counting the cost of empty shops. 7,000 properties are now vacant in the capital. The mother of the murdered teenager Stephen Lawrence is to be made a Labour peer. Doreen Lawrence is expected to be named